Okay. It is Wednesday, the 14th of August, 2024, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us here on both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. And so on this Wednesday afternoon, just after 2 o'clock, we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. Thanks a lot for staying with us, for joining us in the first place here on both sides of the story, Horror 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. And as usual, this is the People's Platform. This is where you get an opportunity to express yourselves. But of course, it has to be done with a level of honesty, integrity, trust, and just a general regard for scruples. And so we welcome you on the basis, of course, that you will make an impact and not cause this community of speakers to lose the value and the purpose of this platform, which is both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. And so we leave for you the most significant chunk of the program in terms of time. So you get a significant portion of the time so that as many of you as possible get an opportunity to express yourselves within a fair amount of time. So that's my humble role as a facilitator. It's really your program. It's not mine. I'm just the facilitator. So we trust that you have been finding the space useful and that you have been in your way helping to add value to both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. So we're kicking things off after this break, reminding you of the numbers as well as the WhatsApp and the text line. So for ease of reference. And so as we get ready to go to the break, we're taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Wherever in the world you are, you're most welcome. There's more after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 2:15. Shop in ease and comfort at Music Mart. Get everything music: pianos, keyboards, acoustic and electric guitars, drums, amplifiers, recording equipment, instruction text, and reference books. Shop online at www.musicmart.biz or visit 8 South Avenue, Kingston 10, or call 876-960-7712. Music Mart, Jamaica's only complete music store. Looking to take your agricultural business to the next level? New growth opportunities are here with the Development Bank of Jamaica. Small farmers, agro-processors, and all SMEs in the agriculture sector can access up to $30 million in loans. Visit us at www.dbankjm.com or send us a WhatsApp text message at 876-371-KPC to find out about our agribusiness loans. Conditions apply. Did I fall? Did I fret? You tell something. All right, we are driving for better. And that's why I can't walk.
All right, some comments now They Someone sent us a message telling us folks are crying, traumatized, and it goes on. Also, another message here, someone saying, Dervan, sad story, tragedy in Clarendon, Jamaica, horrible, dastardly act, mass shootings, dangerous and perilous times. And the messages continue. Also, Trump breaks media record with Elon Musk's interview. Ukraine in Russia, Putin, perilous times. Iran, Houthi, and Israel and Hamas, Hezbollah, USA, UK, perilous times. Sudan at breaking point, terrible terror of the time. And the messages continue to flow. Feelings of emotional exhaustion and emptiness. Can't believe that, but true story of time, says whoever sent us this thread of messages. This one from Rico saying, good night, Sir D. Although it's 18 minutes past 2 o'clock, maybe it's night where you are. There's a situation I want to bring to your attention. There's a case of a young man who has been arrested by the police for violating a minor. Now he is in lockup for more than 5 months, have not seen the judge, no bail, and because there is no medical report, and it's a cry for justice. But we have to be mindful of the information and the extent of the information that we put out in the general public, especially when we're dealing with minors. So we'll have to have this conversation off air, which is not entirely possible because we still have to keep the program going. But feel free to message us and we'll take it from there. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 365 3346. And that's especially the message from Rico. Please send it to that number, 365 3346. Also in the mix, this one says, this one is from Gem Marjorie, and we'll have to audition that before making a decision. Miss Dell has messaged us. She has sent us a message. I believe this is on Facebook. but I'm not seeing the substance of her message. And this one here now, we have someone saying, oh, Miss Dell saying, good evening, Mr. Dervan. I am just coming in from Spanish Town. Mr. Dervan, Spanish Town, sick stomach. The place dirty, garbage. I think I read this one already. Garbage is everywhere on every street. Young Street, Cumberland Road, Oxford Road, Burke Road, Manchester Street, garbage everywhere. Everywhere your eyes can see. In front of courts on Young Street, it's a disgrace. The road that the post office is on, every corner is garbage. In front of VM Bank, dirty water, plastic bottles in the drain, and a small forest is up and coming. But Mr. Malcolm, the worst thing is I hear no one complaining. No one, but you left out yourself. What you mean, no one? Every citizen has a duty to act in the best interest of this country. I don't understand why you're taking yourself out of the equation. Anyway, your message goes on. I'm begging for Spanish Town to be cleaned up. This used to be our capital city, says Miss Dell. And this one, all right. Thank you very much, Miss Dell. Let's move on. And a couple of follow-ups came in from Franklin McDonald, reminding us. He says, as today is the anniversary of the ceremony in the Cayman Woods of Haiti, I hope you'll find time to make reference to it and draw attention to the documentation in Wikipedia. Perhaps you can even read a part of Bookman's famous speech on that occasion. Some people believe it is the most influential speech ever given by pers- by one who was called a Jamaican. So this is Mr. MacDonald following up and sharing this piece of history with us here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM, and the data taking a while to download as it usually does. Perhaps it's passing through some kind of a clearance system. So here's the link and the subject. On the face of it, you would perhaps say Boys Cayman, but it's Bois Cayman. Bois, that's the French word for wood, I believe. Boys Cayman, Haitian Creole. You would say Bois, Bois Cayman, Imon. Bois, which means forest. Imon, name of the voodoo priestess, was the site of the first major meeting of enslaved blacks, during which the first major slave insurrection of the Haitian Revolution was planned. And there's information on the role during the Haitian Revolution, the significance and legacy, plus other references and sources. So you can Google Boiscaiman, and you can apprise yourself, if you haven't already done so, with the individual. So he says, Mr. McDonald says, I hope you remember that uh, tomorrow, which is now today, is the date of a celebration in Haiti for Bookman Dutty, the Jamaican Maroon who started their revolution. It is known as the function in the Cayman Woods or Bois Cayman. In the previous message, where it says Maureen, it's meant to be maroon, used as an adjective. Thank you very much, as usual, Mr. McDonald. This one from Kemet. Saying, I live in the ghetto of Kingston. All when them dismantle gangs, you still can't go over the next scheme or lane. Well, only the people can stop that. The people are in the majority, aren't they? Only the people can stop it. Calvin in North York, Ontario, Canada is tuned in as well. Good to know you're on board, Calvin. And Cuban in Georgia says, Sir Malcolm, well, that's not where it started. It started here. Good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. Good afternoon. We suing the Jamaican government for the deplorable and disgraceful conditions of the Jamaican road network in which the Jamaican people travel on a daily basis. The roads need to be bushed and maintenance of the drainage system across the 14 parishes. And there are no street lights on community roads, and the destruction of citizens' motor vehicles. What the government doing with taxpayer money, because nothing is being fixed. There are literally trenches in the roads. No cars should travel on any road looking like all the roads in Jamaica except the highways. Sir Malcolm, did you know that the police in America cannot be bribed or bought out? Not even the rich can buy out our police, because the government make it a priority that every police can afford the cost of living, must have a house, must have a car, and afford food and clothes for his family, so that the police can't be bought. Thank you for your messages, Cuban in Georgia, as we continue to take more of your calls after this break coming up. The numbers to call, 876-922-4112-5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 365-3346. There's more after the break.
I want to tell the farmers about the Digital Foundation. It not only helped me as a farmer, but it helped my entire community with farming. I want you to know that they have a new thing coming out called the 20 for 20 for 20 grant. If you're a registered community organization with disabilities, schools, even farmers, you need to apply for the grant at the Digital Foundation that are
Kingston and St. Andrew, the Jamaica Customs Agency comes your way each Friday, August 16, 2024, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. for Customs Meets the Community Town and Community Tour Edition. We set the tempo at Downtown Parade, raise the pitch from Tapping Square to Mandela Park after 3 and 2 p.m. So join us for all things customs, imports, exports, charges, and auctions, contactless clearance, and our new mobile app, Customs Connect. That's Customs Meets the Community, meeting our customers where they are.
Give yourself the best with the zest of summer from FHC Credit Union. Save smart with our partner bank and earn extra cash from an extra help from 24 to 48 weeks.
And lock in up to 8.25% of fixed deposit.
Or up to $500,000 with cash in a flash and get it in only 24 hours. Borrow big with our Easy Pay and Easy Pay Max loans up to $3.5 million. So swing by your nearest FHC branch or visit FHCCU.com to start their credit card or condition apply. FHC Credit Union, solid finance, your future.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Somebody sent us, where is it now? Somebody sent us a message or an email that was previously sent. And I don't know if they wanted us to have a look at it or otherwise. But we'll come back to that. In the meantime, the lines are open. And we're taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. And the text line 876-365-3346. What's on your mind this afternoon? What are your ideas, your thoughts, your suggestions, your concerns, your likes, your dislikes? What's happening in your neck of the woods? Well, these and other matters, if they matter to you, by all means, please feel free to share. We're taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 365-3346. 876-365-3346. We want to thank the professionals in their field when it comes on to mental health and related issues, and the level of trauma that our people have had to some of our people have been contending with. We want to thank those who have been playing their part, whether as paid professionals or volunteers. We need all hands on deck in that regard. So in the meantime, we're taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Looking forward to your participation. Let's see who else is messaging us. JM Master Songwriter says, JM Master Songwriter Miss B says, greetings, Mr. Malcolm. How are you doing today? I'm fine, thanks. And you? And JM Master Songwriter Miss B goes on to say, I just wanted to make sure you are okay because you seem a bit distracted. Yes, because we are trying to pick out some information to share with you, our faithful listeners at home and abroad. And that includes you too, Miss J.M. Master Songwriter. Steve Barnes says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Good afternoon, Stephen Barnes. Winston, good afternoon to you too. Thank you for checking in. And by all means, enjoy your lunch. Don't mind us at all. You go ahead and enjoy your lunch and enjoy the rest of the day. JM Master Songwriter says, Miss B says, that's not true. And Winston says, I live in America, and that is not so. Cuban in Georgia. Not sure what roads you drive on in Jamaica, because I go home every year and the roads are much better. Well, you have to be more precise, because to say your roads are much better. Which one of the roads in America are the roads in Jamaica? Anyway, so your message says, I live in America, and that is not so. Cuban in Georgia. Not sure what roads you drive on in Jamaica. Oh, he was specific. He said in Jamaica. Because I go home every year and the roads are much better. The government is doing a great job, says Winston. Thank you very much for your messages, Winston. Let's clear some of the other messages. Mike Montgomery says, good afternoon, teacher, to you and Paro 106 family. Keep up your good work, teacher. Keep safe. And you do likewise, Mike. Norman Hines in St. Thomas. Good afternoon to you. Thanks for checking in. Valerie Weller-Peck says, good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon, Valerie Weller-Peck. And this one says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and faithful listeners. Good afternoon, Faye Weller. Always good to hear from you. She says, I'm here listening. That's good to know. Cherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. So sorry I can't hear your program on radio. We're terribly sorry to hear that. Terribly, terribly sorry to hear that. We'll see if we can share that information with the engineers. Inez Ayona Campbell says, a wonderful afternoon, everyone. Wonderful afternoon to you too, Inez Ayona Campbell. Natalie Winter says, wonderful afternoon, everyone. Same to you, Natalie Winter. Paul Miles of the eponymous Paul Miles Foundation says, good day, Dervan. Good day to you too, Paul Miles. And this one says, Dervan, I sent you a link via WhatsApp regarding the 1832 massacre in Lima, St. James. I'm sorry I missed that one. I'm not sure where that ended up. I have never heard about it. Did this really happen? Is the Adelphi Anglican Church where the massacre occurred a historical site? And Paul Miles says Anglican Church for emphasis. And let's go to the other callers. So here is, well, let's find out who this is. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Sir Dervan. How are you doing?
I am giving thanks for life. And you?
I am doing the same. Unfortunately, though, I'm driving safely using my earpiece. So I can't do the Google search. But was it Cuban in Georgia said that police in America can't take bribes and give reasons?
I don't remember if they said can't or don't.
Yeah, I'm here can't at some point. Look up my message.
Go ahead, please.
So like I said, I can't do the Google search. I don't know if you can, but I would think I was asking what it was the message was from Cuban in Georgia.
You're asking me if what?
If the message was from Cuban in Georgia.
Yes, the listener who goes by the moniker Cuban in Georgia.
I would more want to believe him if he had said that.
You sound distant, by the way. You sound like maybe you're far somewhere.
Let's see if we can adjust that. Any better?
No.
No, any better. Yeah, technology not working with us.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have the option of hanging up and calling back. Go ahead.
That work if I protect my voice louder. That work? I know.
No, it's not good enough.
All right, let me call you back.
Please do. Good. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And this is a lengthy message here now from Cuban in Georgia. He says, "Good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. We're suing..." Oh, yes, I read that already. Yes. And right, so he was saying something about, this is from Cuban in Georgia, saying, there are literally trenches in the roads. No cars should drive on any roads, looking like all the roads in Jamaica, except the highway. And then he goes on to say, Sir Malcolm, did you know that the police in America cannot be bribed or bought out? Not even the rich can buy out the police, because the government makes it a priority that every police can afford the cost of living, must have a house, must have a car, and afford food and clothes for his family, so that the police can't be bought, says Cuban in Georgia. Also, he goes on to say, Sir Malcolm, the Jamaican government must be brought before the court to answer to charges on why the road network is in the condition it's in and what is causing the roads to be in this condition. And as he rounds out the thread of messages, Sir Jamworld must put up as part of the payment for his expenses. No man, this gonna jump over to another link. Let me see if this is the connection. Sir Malcolm, the Jamaican government. No, this is not it. All right, we'll leave that where it is. Thank you for your message. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website. This one says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Can you get someone from JPS to tell us why there are so many power cuts in Garvey Mead and Westmead daily for the past 4 months? And with all the power cuts, the bill went up each month. The time is hot over there in Sunshine City, and to lose light for 4 and 5 hours make us uncomfortable. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 2:45.
Afternoon, Shanda.
For you to win a share of millions in the 5 to 4 chip promotion. Try for the grand prize of $3 million. Weekly prize of $100,000 plus daily prizes. To enter, buy any qualifying microphone and text the entry code in the back for your chance to win a platinum cup in the Hydro 5 to 4 chip promotion. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58 for you. Entertaining and Vouchers Act.
inside the storm. And the lights are on, the world is watching now. People looking for truth, we must not fail now. So before we close our eyes, walk away from fear. Take it inside. Here we are all day. What seems to be the same that I'm sure.
So the persons who were asking about that slave massacre at Lima in Adelphi, St. James in 1832, there was a publication in the Observer on the 10th of March in 2018. So, for the purposes of those who have been asking this afternoon, after the Sam Sharp Rebellion of 1831-32, more than 200 black slave suspects, women and men, were rounded up and shot in cold blood in the square at Lima near Adelphi in St. James. No other bloodshed in both the colonial and modern history of Jamaica ever came close to the infamy at Lima. The official name given by regional archivists for the Anglophone Caribbean, Clinton V. Black, not his real name, to that numbing experiential page in the history of Western Jamaica in particular. The shame of the ruling planter class and their accomplices were palpable as the attempted cover up of this vigilante mass murder went unnoticed for many years until scholars from the bowels of the people began to unearth our hidden heritage, which clearly should never have been told. The hidden hand of the ruling planter class and their descendants manipulated what kind of history education the children of the ex-slaves must not get by the children of the ex-slave must not get by way of an approved curriculum. During the operation by the colonial authorities in that mass murder, religious services were suspended at the Anglican Church in Adelphi as the use of the building changed to a military barracks and a jail. Also, reference is made to the Mandeville Parish Church, turned into a prison in which Moravian pastor Reverend Pfeiffer waited to be hanged, having been accused and found guilty of complicity in the 1831-32 rebellion. This counteroffensive to the Sam Sharp Rebellion was led by an organization called the Colonial Church Union, an equivalent of the Ku Klux Klan in the United States of America. Its leader was the rector of the St. Anne Parish Church, Reverend G.W. Bridges, with other priests of the Anglican Church in the West, planters, and the local militia based in Haddo. And that's Haddo in Hanover, and Barracks Road, Montego Bay, with a horde of vicious bloodhounds and the Western Maroons augmented by their eastern counterparts who landed by ship in Falmouth from Crawford Town, Charlestown, and Moortown, formerly Nannytown, used to track and kill our ancestors in the mountainous countryside. The Maroons were paid £50 for every Sam Sharp rebel, every Sam Sharp rebel. £50 for every Sam Sharp rebel captured, or the production of a matching pair of ears signaling proof of death for an 1831-32 rebel. Many of the nonconformist preachers, Baptists, Moravians, Presbyterians, and Methodists, were not on the side of the slaves, as the Orthodox history tried to convince us and reinforced. This was a cleverly planned propaganda plot to secure white missionaries' place in English, to secure white missionaries' place in English history as emancipators and defenders of Black people. This carefully crafted piece of public relations stunt pushed to the curb powerful Black emancipators, ex-slaves in England, Ignatius Sancho, Ottobah Cugoano, and Olaudah Equiano et al., who were part of a group called the 12 Sons of Africa, key advisors to William Wilberforce et al., based particularly in London and Liverpool. History was being creatively and selectively put together, and here in Jamaica, the recorded bias was just as shameful in that the original and foundational Black preachers, George Lyle, Moses Baker, George Gibbs, Thomas Swiggle, among others, were ignored in favor of the white missionaries, Nib, Burchell, and Filippo et al., who arrived here in Jamaica a minimum of 41 years later, after the Baptist work was already firmly established in Jamaica, and an average of 14 years of the tail end of 168 years of British slavery. I'm going to leave that there for the time being so we can take some of these calls. 876-922-4112 to 5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Afternoon, Sir Dervan.
Good afternoon.
Still sounding far, or this is better?
Much better.
All right. Like I said, technology failing us. Yes, sir. I was saying if the person that goes by the moniker Cuban in Georgia said that's what happened in Cuba, I would more believe that than America. But I think it just goes back to a complaint I had last week where some of us as Jamaicans, we try to just paint Jamaica as the worst place to be, or everything wrong about us, which
a tendency to exaggerate.
Second?
A tendency to exaggerate.
Yes. And even not just by just exaggerate alone, but just cause it, like you see a person saying, no, it's not the worst road. I was in Jamaica in May. I'm from Portland, and the last of the road is 100% perfect, but it's when they say all the roads in Jamaica is bad, I'm like, no, it's the over exaggeration, which even if that's how you feel, putting it out there, you know, what is it that they're gaining by doing so?
That's why that's why I always say, careful how you go to extremes, because when you go to extremes, you undermine whatever position you're looking to put forward.
I can be put in for a good position, but when you use like it's the worst and the most, and we have this thing as Jamaican, we love good percentage without doing even a poll or a scientific thing to say 80% of Jamaicans this and that, and I'm like, That's wrong because you can share that in your opinion, stuff like that. But it's just, I think it's disheartening. And I've seen, I don't know if you see them, but I've seen people from different countries. Of late, the Africans take over. A lot of them who are bloggers, they just come to Jamaica and they said, no, I don't know what people are talking about because look, I'm in Montego Bay and, if you follow the news, even recently, America put us on some level, whatever, something again. And I'm like, if you talk to foreigners themselves, they're asking, what are these people talking about? Like, where are they getting their news from? Is it this just propaganda? Which I heard somebody say something the other day. I don't know if this is permitted on your show, but somebody was saying, it worked for me as a Jamaican because when them put up on whatever list, people get to get them cheaper. So me get to go back, which I'm like, that is kind of selfish. But I don't know what is the plan behind that. And I think when Jamaicans help to push this story, we're not doing anything good for our country. We're just making it worse.
Yes.
But something else, I'm sorry again to be bringing other, although it's on the same radio station, other programs, mentioned. But somebody said earlier to Simon today via text, and I agree with it. I have a heavy supporter of criminality in Jamaica.
What's that?
When I hear it's just street, we have this heavy or a lot of people who it seems as if the sentiments they utter is in support of wrongdoers.
No, they will tell you they're seeking to play their part in in ensuring that those who are apparently being robbed of their rights, that they don't get away with it.
Gotcha. So today is what? Wednesday, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 3 days after the massacre in Clarendon, I heard several callers saying, we need to get rid of prisons and I'm like, what kind of society we are going to have in Jamaica if we get rid of prison? I think prison is important. It's necessary because, we can't stop people from, again, let me boast about my parish. I'm from Portland, which records sometimes single digits murder. And I don't know if they've ever done a study on it, but majority often, because I was in the news media, I know this, majority of the murders were domestic. There's nothing that the government can do to prevent a man who decides to go, I'm a woman, body belongs to me, so if she go and share it, I'm going to take her life. Like, that's a personal decision. But prison is necessary. So to be hearing people saying 3 days after that massacre in Clarendon that, the government needs to get rid of prisons, I'm like, what? This is why the person sending the message and say it seems like, Jamaicans or a lot of Jamaicans love to support criminals and criminality because I can't see, a call like that to say get rid of prison. Somebody came up with that to actually say, let me put this out there. Because I know we think all kind of stuff from time to time, but to go on national radio and say something like that, I can't blame somebody from the news.
Hold a moment, please. We have to take a break. 1 moment, please.
Okay.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
Tiles, and more tiles. It's the Totally Tiled sale event at Home and Things. Enjoy up to 70% off select mosaic tiles. Check out our new arrivals of elegant Spanish porcelain and stylish ceramics at unbelievably low prices. Save big on A-grade floor and wall tiles. Trendy designs, colors, and sizes. We've got it all. Plus honor discounts store-wide. Catch the Totally Tiled sale event now on at Home and Things, Old Road and Custom Spring Road. Lots of tiles, lots of styles.
Are you passionate about agriculture? Join hands with the Jamaica 4-H Clubs, the leading youth organization dedicated to supporting the next generation of youth participants in agriculture. Unleash your agricultural potential through our stimulatory and mastery level training, enterprise support programs, tractor operation and maintenance, along with our agricultural scholarships and bursaries to help you achieve your academic goals. Stay connected. Follow us on social media today at Jamaica 4-H Clubs.
Thanks for holding. Please continue.
Yes, sir. So I want to move on. I've been searching the internet and I haven't seen anything from JFJ or some other civil group. And when people express their opinion, that it seems as if some of these groups are defenders of criminals. There are even media practitioners that do a pushback and say, no, the mandate from the JFJ or whoever else is to do this and to do that. But I think I would have a deeper respect for JFJ and other civil groups if something like this that happened in Clarendon, we hear something from them, put out a statement, something. You know, instead of the only time we really hear them is when it's SOE or whatever, and then come out and talk about our rights and human rights. And it just seems as if, to me, they're defending those people who are accused more than, and there are people, that's why they think even take the law in their own hand, because they must say, boy, no justice that did it for me. Somebody murdered my uncle, which I for an eye left everybody blind. We all know that. But that's just my little, thing. I think even I'm not saying the JFJ should come out and whatever, but make a statement, make the people them just like how everybody calling in and saying condolences to the family. Something to that effect, I could know say, uno did it, other than just when it's a so-called police abuse or whatever, then you hear them come out and say the government need to do this and the police force this and the JDF. You get what I'm saying, Ferdy?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, so that's my call. I'm not going to get controversial today because I'm always controversial. But yes, if JFK, I know they monitor this program and the other groups, I don't know them name. But like I say, the simplest, well, maybe not simple to somebody, but everything that, to come out and say something against the government, then they have a thing. I remember even before Sanjay left, he tried to get Michael Jackson, to say something really more golden and dual citizenship. And she make sure clearly say, listen, the JFJ doesn't have a position. And I heard one media person that say, oh, please know why we don't hear from the JFJs because 9 out of 10 times it's the media that call them in and ask them questions about certain things, which I find that not to be true because I see statement putting out or tweets or whatever the X they call it. So I know they do have a voice when they want to have a voice. And when they don't want to have a voice, they just, like in cricket, what them say, when they leave the ball alone, they play a no ball.
Not just a no ball. A very good, if there's a very good ball, you leave it alone as well.
If it's a good ball, you leave it alone. All right, sir. Well, that's my 2 cents for today. Continue as well. You're doing a good job, sir, and I enjoy listening to you.
Thank you for the call. All the best.
All right, very good one. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon to Nicola in Central Jamaica. Thank you for staying with us here on Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. So please take advantage of the opportunity to share your thoughts, ideas, concerns, issues, and have your questions answered as well here on Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. And let's clear a few more of these messages. This one from Donovan saying, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. The solution to the high cost of living in Jamaica is it begins the journey of being an industrialized country. For example, make low interest loans all available to assemble motor vehicles, motorized bicycles, lawnmowers, etc., especially for export. Our dollar needs to be revalued. And this goes on to say, by assist continual exporting. Okay. Thank you for your message. And let's see who else is messaging us here. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, man, Dervan, I heard some. What I said, Dervan. Marcus got the earth shot. That's a Dervan. You know what a second is, right?
Say that again.
And what a second. How long is a second?
Oh, it,
The ball can run like 9, 10 meters in a second. Most of us can only move 2 or 3 steps and a second gone. One. Can you imagine 1/10 of a second or 100th of a second? That's a greedy Olympics thing. That's much 1,000th of a second. You know, it's a tiration, they have to have a range, you know what I'm saying? They must have a range that is tight. They tell people don't understand maths. What is 1/1000th of a second? No, we have variation and different clock. People know clock, they try to make them perfect. I think Tamo and Noah, both of them, to me, that's a deadly tie. 0.005 of 1 second. You can go closer to tie. That's exactly tie.
but what about the subject of the torso being, was it?
If your foot touch the line first, that means your torso must pass the line first to because you're moving and there's a thing in motion, momentum. You're carrying the said momentum.
Oh,
But the torso and the Dervan is the time finally determined, you know. And the man foot touch the line first and can run race with our foot, and the man will foot touch the line first, torso must pass the line first, and let both pass tight.
it's
Then if you have a real Dervan, if you know a match, 1/10 of a second, little man, is before me even sing to talk to you. That was 100. That was 5/1000. You can't go dead eat more than that. As people will know mass variation and so know them things in a science. Not absolutely 100% perfect.
all right. There.
The best vaccines,
Yes.
the best broad-based medicine, penicillin, cure 96 of antibacterial diseases. If the doctor in a certain can give a shot of a bacteria, a shot of penicillin. But 4% of people contraindicate. Bump them up and so them can't take penicillin. Probably bacteria, them have to give them. So, you know, and that's amongst the best of medicine, but nothing is 100% perfect.
All right. Thank you very much.
If you have a little range. I mean, I said, Dervan, read the violence and the thing in Jamaica. And just think all of our people name. 1 out of 31. I give to every Jamaica and America have mutual assurance treaty, you know, in my opinion. The Jamaican that America do crime just like if I'm Jamaican that Jamaica do crime, America extradite them with a scamming does whoever. If you know Jamaica that for that cause crime, let them extradite them to and try them and charge them and stop sell store what can. If you report some people for 2 years and go 1 out of 31 get arrested, that's a 3.something%. Very poor performance. It's like you spread rumor upon people that say the racist police them and the racist system upon black Jamaicans. Based upon rumors and some other motive problem of post against him and them things.
Well, thank you for your thoughts on these matters.
Yeah, and also things that I said, when the storm come and Andrew said Jamaica ready, nobody can ready when you use a storm, earthquake, war, I come to beg God to have mercy upon you and spare us the wrath. Because so, well, the climate change, but never, no man can stop or control. Because the thing we can do that's that, of course, climate change, you know, because to me is the biggest false politicians that we see nowadays. Is we know when storm come, hurricane, flood, and they can come and will come at any time, no matter what
times of our choosing is that you prepare the infrastructure, the drains, etc. You are building codes and things that you enforce to know that when these things come to mitigate against great damages, because you can't stop them, no matter you preach climate change. Because climate change is a thing, like just like the 5/1,000. Have like say, nothing you can see an achievable limit. You say 1 year time we'll see this different in the temperature, our whole breeze blows, and so forth. Can't. And that's the one that why Miss Kamala won't do an interview, a press conference that you're running for the president of the USA. Not tell him and say thing not gonna be a spam based on instinct, There is a lot of enthusiasm. I've been vexed with that. There's Democrat, them still divided, because she didn't win through the primary. It was business like being handpicked. I think I reason it out. You watch when it does seconds at Trump 2024. You have a best day.
All right. Thank you for the call. Take care.
That guy.
Bye bye.
No demonic words before. And
This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Cleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And let's clear a few more messages. This one who goes by the moniker Waymaker says the caller on the other program spoke negative of prison system, not prison. Okay. And Cuban in Georgia says, Sir Malcolm, the Norman Manley, before we get there, this one came in before. All right, let's go to this one. Where Cuban in Georgia find the time to type all these multi-worded messages? Goodness. Where do we begin? All right, let's try our best. This one says, so go down. Sir Malcolm, what is happening at the Norman Manley International Airport? Who's responsible for the maintenance and the safety of the airport? Because the airport must have air conditioning when last the government installed new air conditioning units in the airport. These units have a lifespan. I heard that the entire international airport is without AC. The airport lease plus millions of travelers go through Norman Manley International Airport on a yearly basis. Where are the revenues that the airport generates? And then Cuban in Georgia sends us another message. Sir Malcolm, the Norman Manley International Airport is a national monument. If the government has to get rid of the lease and give it back to the airport, to the people, give back the airport to the people and Air Jamaica to run the airport, because the leasing out of the airport has not produced good results for the people of Jamaica. From Cuban in Georgia. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15. How much do you know about spices and the impact they have on your everyday life? Join us every first and third Thursday during Farm Talk with Althea McKenzie at 6:18 a.m. for Spice of Jamaica. We'll give you tips, tidbits, and interviews about the revitalization and sustainability of the Jamaican spices, including ginger, turmeric, and pimento. That's Spice Up Jamaica every first and third Thursday at 6:18 a.m. during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM. Spice Up Jamaica is brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture Food for Progress Jamaica Spices Project. Here is a financial literacy tip from your friends at Power 106 FM. Learn to budget. Once you've read a few personal finance books, you will understand two rules. Never let your expenses exceed your income and watch where your money goes. The best way to do this is by budgeting and creating a personal spending plan to track the money coming in and going out. Tracking expenses can provide a valuable wake up call. Small changes in your everyday expenses are under your control and can impact your financial situation. Keeping monthly expenses like rent as low as possible can save you money over time and put you in a position to invest in your own home sooner than later.
It's the middle of the night. Young faces hide in the shadows, only watching their color for the fight. He says she's been unfaithful. She says her love for him is gone. And the brother shrugs to his sister and says, looks like it's just us from now on. All we always need to hear both sides of the story. We need to hear both sides of the story. And the lights are all on. The world is watching now. People looking for truth. We must not fail now. Be sure before we close our eyes. Walk away from fear till you hear the signs.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. So we were talking about the Norman Manley International Airport. Let's see what else is being discussed on the platform. This one, Patrick in Kingston says, good day, Sir Malcolm. I don't think some of the callers know the mandate of JFJ and other civil society groups, and as such, they accuse them of partisanship and call them out on matters for which they, the JFJ, do not have as part of their mandate. Thank you for your message. Let's move on. 876 922 4112 to 5. Keep those messages coming in. Franklin McDonald, always adding value. And we have, if you didn't hear earlier on, Franklin McDonald, we shared that bit with the Jamaican who goes by the name Dottie Bookman. So let's see if this is an additional bit of data that Mr. McDonald has forwarded to our device. Let's see if we can bring that up. So Dottie Bookman, or Bookman Dottie, died on the 7th of November, 1791. He was an early leader of the Haitian Revolution, born in Senegambia, present-day Senegal and Gambia. He was enslaved to Jamaica. He eventually ended up in Haiti, where he became a leader of the Maroons and a voodoo Hugon priest. According to some contemporary accounts, Bookman, alongside Cécile Fatimon, a voodoo mambo, presided over the religious ceremony at Bois Caimon, or Bois Cayman, in August 1791 that served as the catalyst to the 1791 slave revolt, which is usually considered the beginning of the Haitian Revolution. Boukman was a key leader of the slave revolt in the Le Cap Français region in the north of the colony. He was killed by the French planters and colonial troops on the 7th of November 1791, just a few months after the beginning of the uprising. The French then publicly displayed Boukman's head in an attempt to dispel the aura of invincibility that Boukman had cultivated. The fact that French authorities did this illustrates their belief in the importance of Boukman held to Haitian people during this time. So there's the information, Mr. MacDonald. And on the day that you sought to remind us of those developments and that particular event. So let's see who else is messaging us. This one from Horace, otherwise known as Spider. He says, Mr. Malcolm, I hope the PM keep up the same venom from now on for every Jamaican that is murdered. I can see that the PM is really hurt, but something is missing. The police do the same, or you're trying to say you trust that the police does the same. And one thing I noticed that this police chief is doing spear fishing, not net fishing. Where was he all this time? He's shaping up to be a good commissioner, says Horace, otherwise known as Spider. I'm happy to see that they were doing some work on Waltham Park Road yesterday, where the sewerage water running for months now. Hope it's going to be fixed, including the road, says Horace, otherwise known as Spider. Let's continue with more on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Natalie Winter says, Hey Dervan, watching from Washington Gardens, Kingston 20, Jamaica. Just checking in with you. Enjoy the show today. Let's just say hello to all celebrating birthdays and special occasions today. May your occasion be filled with joy, happiness, and love. Enjoy the rest of your day, Dervan. Keep doing your amazing work and keep safe. Travel safe tomorrow. Bye all. All right. Thank you very much. Bye to you too. Cuban in Georgia is back. What is he saying now? Let's see. He says, Sir Malcolm, I saw a new proposal by scientists saying they can reverse the climate change with a study they did. With a study. Let's back this up again. What's this now? I saw a new proposal by scientists saying they can reverse the climate change with a study they did. An earthquake erupted and blocked out the sun for about a year. I'm not sure, but even in Jamaica, the sun was affected by the plume of dust covering the surface of the sun from directly penetrating the earth. In my opinion, they want to do a man-made one to block out the sun for some extended period to reverse climate change. Sir Malcolm, I do read and write a lot. Writing is a part of my daily routine, he says. Thank you very much, Cuban in Georgia. Let's take some more of your messages and comments. 876-922-4112-5 are the numbers to call. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Thank you very much for your comments and your messages so far. Keep them coming. 876-922-4112-5. And still taking your feedback, your calls, and your text messages as well. Here on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And since we have been and continue to be in the season, let's take a call and come back with a ton load of historical data. But don't worry, you won't be inundated with it. So let's go to more of your calls. 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line 876-365-3346. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Oh, honorable noon. What's going on, man?
You tell us.
This damn your life, our health, our food, and man, so what the most desirous, is a humble and thankful heart,
Yes.
So we are here giving thanks.
That's a good thing.
And now you will have a free reasoning amongst yourself and the radio audience at large. This slave plantation in Jamaica today, like Rosal and others across the country, who really control them?
They usually they would be curated and taken care of by the state, as in the government, if it is that they eventually, if and when they fall into the hands of the state. If not, then the state makes arrangements for them to be taken care of, whether they be Rose Hall, as you said, or the other premises and properties that have been here in Jamaica for decades.
So no families of this slave plantation here in Jamaica is on the island today.
Not in ways that it used to be. Not in those ways. So which is why either someone is going to purchase it from the government for purposes of marketing, promotion, etc. So that's
the government benefit, the present current government of Jamaica today benefit from the slave plantation.
Yes. Hold a moment, please.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
3:30.
when you want the ocean and make the rice well, just give me that anytime of the day, night as well, just give me. Everybody can tell this what great smell, just give me.
Another quality product from the Caribbean Group.
Kingston and St. Andrew, the Jamaica Customs Agency comes your way this Friday, August 16, 2024. 2024 from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For Customs Meets the Community Town and Community Tour Edition. We set the tempo at Downtown Parade. Raise the pitch from Papin Square to Mandela Park half a 3 at 2 p.m. So join us for all things customs, imports, exports, charities, and auctions. Contactless clearance on our new mobile app, Customs Connect. That's Customs Meets the Community, reaching our customers where they are.
Whether you're overseas or in Jamaica, everybody wants their little piece of yard. Well, that's where a JMMB back mortgage comes in. With JMMB, you'll get more support, more incentives, more benefits, more coverage with JMMB insurance brokers. And also, we give you more time to repay. Your JMMB mortgage expert will answer all of your questions and guide you through every step along the journey. You're not alone with JMMB. Contact us at info@jmmb.com and learn how you can get more than just a mortgage.
So a lot of these state properties eventually become state buildings, or the other way around, if you prefer. So that's, go ahead.
The government of Jamaica, headed by Prime Minister Andrew Holness, continue to benefit from the slave plantation, or in other words, the slave trade,
Not in its original sense, though.
We're calling upon him being the Prime Minister, of King Charles government here in Jamaica. So this government benefits from the slave trade. So that's why we're calling upon Prime Minister Andrew Holness now, who continue to benefit from the slave plantation. He set us free. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, as a man of African descendants, calling upon you to set us free, set the black population here free, to return home to our land, our country of origin, before we come here in the 15th, 16th century, come born here, from plantation, Jamaica. So all of these prime ministers and Commonwealth leaders, they are aware of this history, so we don't know why them harden them heart and refuse to send us home, want to hold us down here in Jamaica. I'm right to tell the country the other day, say, Jamaica is America's backyard, And as black people who couldn't want to find themselves in America's backyard, a country or a nation who live with burn with eat and do all manner of evil, carry go a war and carry back the whole of everybody parts blow off, We don't want to in a dear country, So we're calling upon our Commonwealth leaders, CARICOM leaders, who are holding on the black redemption to hurry up, and fulfill the price of the honorable black philosopher, Marcus Garvey, 7 or 9 miles of high water boat, Black Star Line, the I departure from out of Jamaica, and the Western world to our birth heaven, our birth home, where you can sing, say, millions now are safe to land on the golden shore, yet there is room for millions more, So we're calling upon you as a man of African ancestry, we don't know why you're stubborn, so, see it. And I want to set the people free, fight them to a black sovereignty of themselves.
Me? What am I doing to the people? But see here, as my late mother would say, what a piece of outer hardness. True.
Yeah, because we are not savage. We must can't share a little joy amongst ourselves. But on a serious note, we need to take a stock of ourselves, as black sons and daughters in Jamaica and the world, as a nation of people. We need to take a stock of ourselves, and our lives, as a nation of people among all of these nations who enslave us, Britain, America, England, France, and the whole of them. We sit down here now with them embassy. If we satisfied with the life we are living, from colonization to slavery, till we them have our work out to cheap labor, and educate us so we are Jamaican, brainwash education, and cut off our African connection, Because in the 60s, they have a strong African connection in this country, when everyone talk about Africa, black consciousness. And this government mash it up, then destroy dismantling, you know. So we're calling upon them to the restoration, you know, of black culture, you know, here in Jamaica that will end all the war and crime, you know, amongst us as a black family, you know. And not to worry about it, you know. Although I see somebody come and turn himself in a judgment, beast, a robber and a killer and a rape. You know? We have blood brothers and sisters. Not to worry about it. You know? So the man said, them cook up moral where we can't see ourselves, you know, and set us against ourselves, you know, turn in a labor right and PLP, divide and rule over us, you know, democracy, the wickedest system of government in the world, in this judgment, you know. So we could find power and oneness amongst ourselves, but we find ourselves born, black, you know, find power the spirit of brotherhood amongst ourselves and sisterhood. And that is
Not at all. Just a moment, please. Thanks a lot for staying with us on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And this one says, J.M. Master Songwriter, Miss B, says, yes, that is not true. Police in the U.S. Do also take bribes, but not as openly. And another message, Massachusetts, this is from MJAM, telling us that Massachusetts troopers were charged with taking bribes to pass commercial drivers tests. January 31st, 2024. MJAM says former DC police officer found guilty in bribery scheme, January 12, 2024. Jennifer Stewart says, good afternoon, Sir Dervan and everyone listening. Good afternoon. JM Master Songwriter, Miss B, birthday is Saturday, she says. Happy birthday when it comes. Thank you very much for joining us. Velta Wilson, good afternoon to you. Thank you for tuning in as usual. And we continue now to take more of your calls. Sorry, Ras Lloyd, are you still there? Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. So the time has now come, you know, but we must build back our faith to return home to Africa, you know, because many come and then beat Africa out of us, you know, and tell us that Africa is not our homeland, you know, we don't come from Africa to be born in Jamaica, you know. All type of things them tell you about Africa. The demonized we that we don't want to go to Africa, you know, and the continent, you know. So we could build our faith to return home to Africa, you know, and we're calling upon this government and Commonwealth leader who are holding up in Jamaica. He said to us, you know, don't be stubborn, you know. The man said Egypt, I got glad, Egypt, Jamaica, I got glad when you left there, you know, the Western world, you know, but them carry come as slave, you know. Jamaica is spiritually called Egypt, you know, in iron culture, you know. So Jamaica got glad when the part, you know, because man say famine and pestilence, you know, just as in farmer days, you know. Because it's a short repair with the Guan already in a farmer days, I come Guan, you know. Because we never reach home, you know. To some people so stubborn or they should have said, we. Some people may say, so stubborn and rebellious in this judgment, don't want to turn to themselves, So we
Yes.
left ourselves undone and busy, the white men appear, and left ourselves undone as a people, So make we turn to ourselves, because we try everything, every other nation and it is, they don't mean us no good. So make we try ourselves, because we
Okay.
are Ethiopian royal gods and goddess. So make we try ourselves, and one of the man who want to go home to Ethiopia to advance Africa, to advance in truth and right, and in love and light, as a black sovereign nation with kingdom of people. Take care, my honorable.
Respect.
If I didn't have this life, 'cause without it, I don't get it. And that's why I carry on. You always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. There's both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
So, just a reminder as to what happens at this time of year. Here's an example, a reminder. The year was 1916. Starting on this day in 1916, a hurricane swept across Jamaica before leaving the following day, August 16, 1916. So there are a lot of issues have been settled already in our country and the rest of the world in general in terms of how weather systems work, etc. We don't need to recreate the wheel, but to learn from the experiences and exigencies of these weather systems. It's as clear as day. So we continue with more on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. And let's share with you another of the historical information. St. George's Colonial College opened its doors on this day in 1850. The Catholic institution was established by 21 Jesuits from the Roman Catholic missionary organization known as the Society of Jesus. The Jesuits came to Jamaica after their expulsion from Colombia and established what is now known as St. George's College. And that happened on this day in 1850. This was 310 years after the Society of Jesus received its charter from Pope Paul III in August 1540. The Jesuit order played an important role in the Counter Reformation and eventually succeeded in converting millions around the world to Catholicism. The Jesuit movement was founded by Ignatius de Loyola, a Spanish soldier turned priest in August 1534. But back to the Jesuits who founded St. George's College on this day in 1850 with their considerable experience. We'll come back to that in just a moment.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106. You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
So, with their considerable experience as tertiary educators in Bogota and Medellin, they were able to offer a curriculum which included Latin. Listen to the curriculum of St. George's College in 1850. Latin, Greek, French, Spanish, English, rhetoric, history, mathematics, logic, metaphysics, ethics, drawing, and calligraphy. That's what the students of St. George's College were working on back in 1850. That was the curriculum at the time. Greek, well, Latin, Greek, French, Spanish, English, rhetoric, history, mathematics, logic, metaphysics, ethics, drawing, and calligraphy. Leave that right there for the moment. Wonder what's on the list of subjects. All right, let's go to the calls once again. We'll come back to that. Let's go to the calls. 876 922 4112 to 5. That's 876 922 4112 to 5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, sir. Mr. Malcolm, I'm not certain what the word rhetoric means. I wouldn't be able to explain it very well.
Okay. All right, let me make sure I'm putting you on the right path. It's the art of effective or persuasive speaking or writing, especially the exploitation of figures of speech and other compositional techniques.
Wow. Is St. George's still
In operation?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
still doing some such subject.
No.
I see. Wow, it sounds like a university. It's that type of education.
Yep.
I see. Mr. Malcolm, while I'm not against the spirit of what Ras Lloyd is saying,
Yes.
I'm not against that vibration because I was there once. I don't. I wonder if he really wants to return.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems to me, for a man who's always speaking that way, he would make at least one visit.
Yes.
Yeah, how can you convince us?
Well, the most we got out of him on that score is that he's waiting on until this or that or whatever. There's just always a reason. Yes, he did say that too. Something about getting the ticket, getting it. Well,
Or the money. We have to go there as individuals.
that's right.
Our own money and convince our friends to go with us.
Yep.
Yes. And it's always. I wonder if you consider being a stand-up comedian.
Who knows?
Who knows? Mr. Malcolm, I was thinking about the cherry tree lane.
Yes.
Massacre.
Oh Lord.
I was wondering if the security forces of Jamaica would invest some money in a drone force.
A drone what?
Force.
Force. Oh, a drone squad. Isn't there? I think we have been told. We have been told at different points by the police
Because I know
that
drones are used to spray garden. Farmers use them to spray garden.
yes.
And for surveillance.
Yes.
And
Mm.
There's one I saw at a shop in my neighborhood for $25,000. I plan to get one and survey my my house area here.
Mm-hmm.
Look, search it out. Search out my little spot here.
Yes. Yes, I have one of those actually. I have one myself, but I subsequently came to recognize that there are certain there are now certain restrictions. So you can't just go and start flying your drone like
Oh,
that.
really? Wow.
Yes.
So, which means it's effective right here.
Mm.
They
Yes,
can have
no,
laws on it now.
yes,
I mean,
yeah,
them realize there's a real thing that can do a lot of impact.
yes.
Yes, all the very reason why the security forces should employ them and use them. Because that it would really put the criminals on their backs, really. Because
Mhm.
it is so effective. I'm assuming, because
Mhm.
I don't have one, but I'm assuming it will be very effective. You could watch them, get them picture, even listen to them talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see
And track them as well,
track them. Oh,
importantly.
you don't see the big leap of thinking why them have it. I'm
Mhm.
moving on the place.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because those boys would be afraid.
Mhm.
They wouldn't know what to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I don't see the big leap in putting it to work.
Yes.
Because as soon as I get some money, I'm going to get some
Mhm.
and watch my place. So you have to get permission to fly them?
That's what I subsequently found out.
Oh, yeah, I say.
But at the time when I had mine, well, I still have it.
Yeah.
But that was there was no question of some kind of official.
Regulation and laws.
Yes. Right.
Wow, that's
Mm.
most interesting.
Mhm.
Because I know the farmers, a few farmers out there might spray them seed and
Yes.
nothing rather have them.
Yes. Yes. They do.
Rather, yes, yes.
Mhm.
Well, that is good. That's fine. It just, yes. So, yes, sir. So that is an idea that I would would love to see manifest.
Mhm.
Yeah, the security forces.
Yes.
Yeah. And it will be very effective. It will be most effective. In the bush, yeah, which for me there.
Yeah.
Start out behind the tree them and all them thing there.
With backup on the ground.
Yeah. What
Mm.
are you saying with security forces on the ground?
Yeah,
Or
backup as in members of the security forces on the ground and in the air.
certainly, certainly, because
Mm.
what you can do when you're on high, you can
Mhm.
cover the ground when you're on high
That's right.
and keep your eye on the subject.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't get away.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
man. All right, Mr. Malcolm.
Thank you for the call. Take care. Bye bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, taking more of your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Let's see who else is messaging us. Kemet PML says, Teacher, these talks of going back to Africa, how can nearly 4 million people empty this island? Please, teacher, with all these enemies going back in plane or ship, how will it end when Jamaicans hate each other? Well, I can't see anybody that I hate as a Jamaican. Not sure if I've met one before, but anyway, let's love each other, and let's go to another message. This one says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I'm here listening to your program. Like it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nelly." Lloyd Berry, aka King Lloyd, says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Good afternoon. Sir D, you know, I'm back on the road. Now I'm in Texas, on my way to LA. Bringing back memories now, memories of LA. Then to Chicago, Illinois. One love, Mr. Dervan. Love Jamaica. Keep your head up, Jamaica," says King Lloyd. Thank you very much for your message, King Lloyd. Here is Horace once again, also known as Spider. He says, "Mr. Malcolm, most of the being, most of the being, most of the being that visited, most of the beings that visit Earth, I suspect that they are from the Andromeda galaxy, and that is 2 light years away from Earth. So you're traveling at the speed of light, say about 86,000 miles per second. It would take mankind 2.5 billion years to get there with the technology they have. So you see, the beings that visit Earth and are still doing so with a full knowledge of some of those countries worldwide to humans, they have gods like power. Or did you want to say power like gods? Check it and come back to us, please, Horace, otherwise known as Spider. Thank you for your message. Cuban in Georgia says, "Sir Malcolm, we have to bring back Jamal evening class for adults and young people can go to learn and study how to read and write and how to sign their names. It's very important to me that every Jamaican will be able to learn and study the history of understanding how to master the English language in its full craft and know the difference of other cultures and languages. So let's bring back the Jamal evening classes to keep the millions of minds active, and I think you mean leave. Don't leave the mind idle. Idle minds do idleness. Sir Malcolm, great minds discuss ideas, and the average mind discusses people." All right, thank you very much, Cuban in Georgia, for that reminder. And Lloyd Berry, aka King Lloyd, has shared a location with us. Okay, King Lloyd, we see the location. So that's another effect of using a drone as well. Let's continue with more here on both sides of the story. Poro 106 FM. We'll be back after the break.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock. Here is a financial literacy tip from your friends at Power 106 FM. Educate yourself. Take charge of your financial future and read a few basic books on personal finance. It is helpful to develop a basic investment vocabulary. It's also important to understand some basic investment principles such as risk and reward and asset allocation. Once armed with knowledge, don't let anyone take you off track. Whether a significant other who encourages you to waste money or friends who plan expensive trips and events you can't afford. Research professionals like financial planners, mortgage lenders, or accountants before utilizing their services.
So we're always hearing about the Panama Canal. It has a rich history as well. On this day in 1914, the Panama Canal was inaugurated with the passage of the U.S. vessel Ancon, Ancon, a cargo and passenger ship. After decades of protest and negotiations, the Panama Canal passed to Panamanian control in December 1999. It was on November 18, 1903, the US and Panama signed a treaty that granted the US rights to build the Panama Canal. The Hay Buno Varela Treaty was signed with Panama, granting the United States exclusive and permanent possession of the Panama Canal Zone. In exchange, Panama received $10 million and an annuity of $250,000 beginning 9 years later. The treaty was negotiated by U.S. Secretary of State John Hay and the owner of the Panama Canal Company. Almost immediately, the treaty was condemned by many Panamanians as an infringement on their country's new national sovereignty. Just thought we'd share that one with you here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. As we continue to take your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Let's keep those messages coming in and see what else you're looking to share with our listeners at home and abroad as we continue with more on Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, and taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. As we continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. And as we've said, sharing some useful information with you, our faithful listeners at home and abroad. So let's keep it going and see what's next in store. And let's see who we have here now. Neville Leopold Bonito was born in Kingston on this day in 1924. Neville Leopold Bonito established himself as a leading batsman in the Senior Cup competition. Both his brother Colin and his cousin Arthur had preceded him in playing for Jamaica. The tall, stylish, right-handed Neville Leopold Bonito learned his cricket at beg your pardon, at elementary school and played for Melbourne club alongside his cousin Arthur and the leading Melbourne batsman O.C. Stevenson. And let's see. There's a bit more here. And let's see. Oh, around this time in 1933, the Monique Lake started rising on this day in 1933. 9 months later, on May 14, no, that's in reverse order. Let's go back. Let's go back. Oh, I think it should have been 9 months earlier. 9 months. All right, we'll check the date in a while. But the Monique Lake, we're told, started rising around this time in 1933. And still in 1933, flood rains were wreaking havoc on houses and other buildings in Kingston and St. Andrew. And 1 month later, on September 15, 1933, the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation decided that in the future, it would not pass any plans for buildings to be erected near any gully course in the corporate area. The KSAC also instructed the town clerk to ask government to pass the necessary legislation. The decision was arrived at after studying and discussing the report of the city engineer on the damage done to houses and other buildings caused by the flood rains which wreaked havoc in Kingston and St. Andrew on this day in 1933. So we're still dealing with these matters, because here is an announcement or a declaration saying, look, with all of this situation that has happened, this gully course in the corporate area, this from now on, the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation has decided that in the future, it would not pass any plans for buildings to be erected near any gully course in the corporate area. That was 1933. I wonder what happened. Is it being enforced? What a thing. What a thing. And so if you are wondering as well, since we're sharing the story here, that KSAC here is now KSAMC, Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation. This happened back in, a decision was arrived at that, let's see, plans, let's just back up a bit. Right, so before that, they had the flood rains wreaking havoc on houses and other buildings in Kingston and St. Andrew. A month later, on September 15, 1933, the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation decided that in the future, it would not pass any plans for buildings to be erected near any gully course in the corporate area. The KSAC also instructed the town clerk to ask government to pass the necessary legislation. The decision was arrived at after studying and discussing the report of the city engineer on the damage done to houses and other buildings caused by the flood rains which wreaked havoc in Kingston and St. Andrew around this time in 1933. Whatever happened to those plans? Your guess is as good as mine. All right, here's another piece of history. At the stroke of midnight, around this day in 1947, and in the chaotic first days of self-rule, India erupted in religious and ethnic rioting. A new nation, Pakistan, had been partitioned from India as a homeland for its large minority Muslim and Sikh populations. And now millions of people were uprooted and moved to new homes or stayed at home to face violence from ethnic foes. Hundreds of thousands died in the region's bloody round of birth pains. East Pakistan, a province of the new Islamic nation, was set aside for Muslims living in India's eastern provinces in 1971. A civil war there would bring forth another new nation, Bangladesh. And also 1966, Prince Philip opened the second Commonwealth Paraplegic Games at the university's playing field. And let's see. We'll give you one more to go to the break. Let's look at, let's see. 2006, the founder of Vaz Preparatory School, Hazel Louise Vaz, died on this day in 2006. Hazel Louise Vaz, née Chaplin, founder, disciplinarian, devoted Christian educator, and philanthropist, was born in Morant Bay, St. Thomas, the youngest daughter of Arnold and Caroline Chaplin. Growing up, she admired her eldest sister, Sybil, and aspired to be just like her, to be a nurse, but fate had its own agenda. As soon as she completed junior Cambridge at Wolmer's High School for Girls, she applied to nursing school, only to be told to wait as she was too young. While waiting, she decided to take up a temporary teaching post at Morris Nib Preparatory School. This one term stretched into 20 years until 1951, when she launched out on her own. In months following Hurricane Charlie in 1951, Hazel Vaz started her school on September 10, 1951. The Vaz Preparatory started in an old wooden garage at 11.5 Dunoon Road in Kingston, where Hazel Vaz lived as a tenant. Her first three students were her daughter, Paulette Vaz, and the two younger children of her sister, Sissy Boggis, or is it Bodges? They were Hazel Vaz's niece, Beverly, and her nephew, Maurice. 61 years later, Vaz Preparatory School, more than 61 years later, Vaz Preparatory School is now a living testimony to her faith and Christ's faithfulness. Let's pause there for a moment and come back with more in just a bit.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
HPV for the MVP. A full time is to get a vaccine. HPV for the MVP. Protect your health, that's key. Let me tell you something about HPV.
How do you know about HPV?
It's a virus group called violence that cause cancer. Protect your health, that's key. We can't match sex on contact. Alright, but if you need to watch that. Let me tell you, you don't want gunshot that. Get the vaccine, that's the best way to start that. Boys and girls, me are raise the alarm. You don't want to see now, same type of cancer. Vaccination are the answer. HPV for the MVP. Protect your health, that's key.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Looking to take your agricultural business to the next level? New growth opportunities are here with the Development Bank of Jamaica. Small farmers, agri-processors, and all MSMEs in the agriculture sector can access up to $30 million in loans. Visit us at www.dbankjm.com or send us a WhatsApp text message at 876-371-3830 to find out about our agri-based loans. Conditions apply.
Tell a farmer, tell a friend, the BBJ or something for them. Alright, we are trying to build back better.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Thank you very much for staying with us. If you're just joining us, it's a pleasure to have you on board Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. We're still taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. Here's Neville, otherwise known as Salah. He says, well, this is going to be a long one. Oops. Dervan, Cuban in Georgia is quite right. The roads here in Jamaica are atrocious to be driving on. Apart from the few highways, the roads, they're a total disaster. This caller, well, it doesn't matter your stripes. You don't have to declare that. But anyway, he says they're a total disaster. This caller is a JLP activist, and he always coming to defend the JLP. I hope that he'll be defending the government next year. I'm sure that by next year end, we're going to have a change of government. I hope that he'll be defending the new government. Reasonable people that are living here in Jamaica. I think you want to say reasonable people who are living here in Jamaica want to get rid of the corruption in Jamaica. Corruption is the major reason for all these murders. Really. I personally going to be keeping eyes on the PNP when they win the next election next year. Dervan, I don't know what the caller is saying. He should drive to Westmoreland from Middle Quarters to Newmarket. No roads, not to mention places like Pisgah, Springfield, New Road in the Kingston 20 area where I am. The roads there are a disgrace. The JLP activists, he needs to simmer down. He is a clear activist. And so what is wrong with that, though, by the way? You see how easy we can pick up all kinds of enmity and strife. And, I mean, you support your party and the other person supports his party. Nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with that? Anyway, the message goes on. The JLP activists, he needs to simmer down. He's a clear activist. And I don't listen to them. Well, you have that ability to shut out a sound if you don't want that sound in your space. Anyway, the message goes on. Even when they're defending my party, I don't listen. The side roads, they're not good for driving. I listened to that caller, and it is clear as day that he's a big JLP activist. So what would be wrong with that? That's what I keep asking. People are free to vote for whichever political party they choose to vote for. It's the members and representatives of the parties who must ensure that they are in the business of curating a political movement which has the management that is able to deal with matters of state. And that's what it is, what it is. We shouldn't be, well, let me just leave that there for the time being. But we are first of all human beings. In our case, we're first of all human beings. Then we are Jamaicans. So let us just be mindful of this posture that scorns everybody if they don't speak your language, if they don't wear your color. Then you turn up your nose and in a nothing with them, that kind of behavior, etc. That's not necessary. That's not necessary at all. Democracy is supposed to be alive and well here in Jamaica. Let's keep it that way, at least. Thank you for your message, Neville, otherwise known as Salah. Franklin MacDonald says, list so-called cloudburst of 1933 led to the construction of the McGregor Gully. Ah, I see what you mean. Thank you very much, helping us to once again connect the dots, Franklin MacDonald. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, let's go on. Let's see now. Cuban in Georgia says, oh Lord, where does it start? Let's see. We can't find the start, Can't find. Oh, this was yesterday. This is today. No, yesterday. Switching between today and yesterday. Or is it that we weren't able to get around to some of the messages yesterday, but we got others today and vice versa? It's a lot to sit down and type this with your beer. Well, I mean, I type and I on a laptop or a computer or a typewriter, but not on a phone. But he seems to be quite versatile. That's Cuban in Georgia. To be able, he's not alone in that department because a lot of young people consider themselves to be very adept at typing and going at doing so quickly. Reminds me of the days in school when we used to do typing, and some of our fellow students were saying, "What kind of girlish thing that you're doing? I mean, not a girl thing, whatever." Now everybody's typing. Everybody's typing. Anyway, let's see if we can find the beginning of this message. This is a lot, Cuban in Georgia. This is a lot. All right, we'll just stop wherever we start and see how that unfolds. Literary. Read that message already. So these are threads of messages from Cuban in Georgia. Let's go down. Sir Malcolm, the Jamaican government must be brought before the court to answer the charges of why the road network is in such. Yes, we read that already. And that one too. Sir Malcolm, what is happening at the Norman Manley? We read that already. This one read already. Give back. Sir Malcolm, I saw a new proposal. Yes, I read that already. I do read and write a lot. Writing is a part of my daily routine, says Cuban in Georgia. This one, read that already. And Sir Malcolm, great minds, read that already. Sir Malcolm, all of our assets have been sold or leased out by the government because the government is lazy and doesn't want to pay people to work, really. So we have a non-investment neoliberal government in power, and the neoliberals don't know how to run a productive and progressive country because no word in neoliberalism says anything about employment for your countrymen, but by way of imports and offering of all the jobs that come with a livable wage. Sir Malcolm, if the government owes Mr. Cartel, say 300 million, if Jam World is worth, say 100 million, it would generate more revenue for Jamaica when he developed, or when he develops, I think you mean, when he develops the world-class entertainment center, hotel, casino, and water park, which will employ millions of youths to work and run the dancehall entertainment complex. And the last thread of these messages from Cuban in Georgia for today says, Sir Malcolm, we want back our airport and we taking back the JPS as our own by Jamaicans. We want back our Air Jamaica International Airlines and we want back our railway service. Thank you for your multiplicity of messages, Cuban in Georgia. And over to you. This one says, is that today? Let me see. Unread message. Did Neville mention Westmoreland based on the history? PNP should be ashamed to mention that parish. Westmoreland should have the best of everything in Jamaica. They're trying to make it seem like a bad road that only started in February 2016. Horace, otherwise known as Spider, is back in the picture. He says, when will mankind eyes truly open? If mankind can't build the pyramid today with the technology they have now, how could they do so thousands of years ago? It's quite clear mankind is not the builders of the pyramid. And you notice the Bible doesn't know anything about the dinosaurs. All right, what about spiders? Spider, because this message is from Horace, otherwise known as Spider. Thank you for your message. And there's a follow-up message from Franklin McDonald. Let's see. He says, are you aware that the world has organization this off? Oh no, I think that should be health. So are you aware that the World Health Organization this afternoon declared Mpox a global health emergency? Yes. Yes, in fact, we saw this one coming. So we need to be on our P's and Q's, as they say, and ensure that we are doing all the right things to stave off that which we would have to contend. In the meantime, let's take the break and come back with more on both sides of the story.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 4:30. Are you passionate about agriculture? Join hands with the Jamaica 4-H Clubs, a leading youth organization dedicated to supporting the next generation of youth participants in agriculture. Unleash your agricultural potential through our stimulatory and mastery level training, enterprise support programs, tractor operation and maintenance, along with our agricultural scholarships and bursaries to help you achieve your academic goals. Stay connected. Follow us on social media today at Jamaica 4-H Clubs.
How much do you know about spices and the impact they have on your everyday life? Join us every first and third Thursday during Farm Talk with Althea McKenzie at 6:18 a.m. for Spice Up Jamaica. We'll give you tips, tidbits, and interviews about the revitalization and sustainability of the Jamaican spices, including ginger, turmeric, and pimento. That's Spice Up Jamaica every first and third Thursday at 6:18 a.m. during Farm Talk with Althea McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM. Spice Up Jamaica is brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture Food for Progress Jamaica Spices Project.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on both sides of the story, Horror 106 FM. We don't want to take anything for granted. So, Mr. MacDonald, having reminded us of the declaration of Mpox as a global health. Well, look who's here. We have been joined by Dr. Trevor Dixon, founder of Jaja Foundation, Jamaicans at home, Jamaicans abroad, helping Jamaicans at home. So you want to come around here, please? Welcome to the studios.
Thank you. What the earphone there, replying on. No. What?
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Horror 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and we're just saying hi and hello and exchanging a couple of words with Dr. Dixon. Not too much, considering that, well, I can't say it, but he is being recognized. That's all I'll say for now. So be on the lookout.
That's a good way to say it. I won't say anything further.
Good afternoon to you, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Dervan. And thank you once again for having me here in studio, live in studio, Kingston.
Yes. Indeed, it is a pleasure. Thank you very much for popping in.
I could not be in the neighborhood and don't say hello. So well, and the people in the country say I was in the neighborhood, so I decided to stop by.
And it seems you have been spending a lot of time here in Jamaica.
Well, you know, I came to do a memorial for my mother, my father, and my grandmother in Christian Manchester, the Moravian Church there, the Zone in Christian. And naturally, but you know, family members came down to pay tribute to those who make us who we are. So we did that tribute in the studio. I was fine time. I was actually at the Percy Junior Hospital in Spalding on Sunday, doing what I'd like to do best, teaching ultrasound to my brothers and sisters in the health field here, and that was a huge success. We had, we continue the training to make it safer for our brothers and sisters when they come into the emergency room seeking care.
Yeah, and I see your handy tools. What they call it?
The butterfly handheld ultrasound. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So yes, we're blessed. A partnership with American Friends of Jamaica, the Judges Foundation, collaboratively. We work along with the team at Jacoby Medical Center in the Bronx. We do that to try and provide, health care in emergencies, trauma patients who need an ultrasound right away. They can now access that more than they would normally. So we're happy that we're blessed to be able to have the technology, know how to use the technology, and know how to teach the technology. So for generations and generations, when you come into an emergency room, suffering a trauma, or if a woman is pregnant and she has any kind of complications, the ultrasound is often the first tool that they use to diagnose life-threatening illnesses.
Mhm. So, are you through now with all that work that you have been doing, or you have taken on more
Never
work?
done, never done, never done. The work is
Mhm.
never done. As you know, Dervan, you've known me for many years. I keep getting my hands into different things sometimes because I can't say no. So actually, we have a container, a 40-foot container. Do you remember when I was trying to pack that container?
Mhm.
So we're able to pack the container, and it's actually on its way to Jamaica now, with hurricane relief merchandise for the folks who live in the Saint Elizabeth area. So we're fortunate that we had a big plan to pack a 40-foot container. Who had such a plan? We did, and we knew that we would get the support from the diaspora.
Mhm.
So many of the leaders in the diaspora we recognize as the people who would be, you know, friendly to the Jada Foundation. We knocked on many doors, and some answered the call. So I
Mhm.
want to give a big shout out to Trans Carib Express shippers over there in East Orange, New Jersey, and we also want to give a big shout out to the Boogie Down Bronx, the original dumpling shop on Baychester Avenue. That's 3435 Baychester Avenue in the Bronx. Colin and Susie, those and their family was able to support the Jada Foundation as we packed this container and to ship it off to Jamaica. And of course, Yuja also played a part in getting us the school supplies and stuff that we need to make a difference, along with Jamaican Nurses Association of New York and New Jersey. So I want to thank all of those who participated, all our supporters and our sponsors who came on board to make this a success. And the container, had a little bit of delay in New York because they saw a container with this big logo, Jaja Foundation. So I think the U.S. Customs had a natural interest to say, this is interesting. Most containers are that brown and that brown and that red or that white, dirty looking color. No, we decided to paint our container with our logo. And I don't know if they thought we were exporting marijuana to Jamaica or what, or guns. So they searched it thoroughly, and they eventually cleared the container. And it was delayed. It was supposed to clear when I'm here now. So we've been set back a week, but God will do what He has to do. We have our plan, and God has His plan. So the container will be helping us the schools, Hampton, Monroe, and Manning School, along with local communities in Jamaica with repairs for their homes. We've partnered with the church in Santa Cruz, Santa Cruz United Church of the Jamaica and the Cayman Island, United Presbyterian Church, along with the Savlamar Rotary Club. They came on board. They will be providing a lot of the carpenters and stuff to do the repair on many of these roofs. So we're happy for the partnership and the people who were able to step up and say we're going to help. And that's how we do the Judge Foundation. We find good Samaritans along the way who help us to lift to do the heavy lifting there, as you would say. And lifting up zinc and 2x4s can be quite some heavy lifting along with plywood. So
Indeed.
Thank those folks who help us do the heavy lifting, and I want to thank you, Dervan, for sharing our stories as we do the heavy lifting.
Well, thank you very much. Because as I always say, you're the ones doing the heavy lifting. We just feel privileged to be able to share your story with Jamaicans at home and abroad. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr.
And
Dixon.
it's great seeing you again, right?
Likewise.
So I just snuck up. My wife doesn't know that I'm here. I'm gonna go back to my vacation, so to speak. Yes, but I told her I'm going to the bathroom. I'll be right back. But soon come, and here I am in Kingston. Thank you for having me, and I want to big up all the followers of both sides of the story. The only program in Jamaica you should be listening from 2 to 5 p.m. in the afternoon. Okay, along with Dervan and the crew. Thank you so much, Power 106, for always supporting the Jada Foundation. We really appreciate it. I want to big up all the people in the Bronx, New York. I have to do shout out with Jamaicans and the people, of course, in Christian and Manchester and those surrounding areas. And the people who are in the grill, and all over the island, Westmoreland, Little London, all over. We go all over in the Jada Foundation. But thank you, Dervan, and the team at Power 106. We really appreciate your support.
Likewise. Thanks a lot. Take care.
All right. Thank you, Dervan.
Okay. So that's Dr. Trevor Dixon, emergency medicine physician at Jacobi Medical Center in the Bronx in New York. And he's the founder of Jaja Foundation, Jamaicans at Home. Jamaicans at Home helping. What happened there? Jamaicans abroad helping Jamaicans at home. There you go. Jaja Foundation. So let's continue. Happy for that surprise by Dr. Trevor Dixon visiting us in the studio. Thank you very much. Good to see you. And all the very best. Let's see now. We still have messages to clear. And let's see, where shall we go now for the other messages? This one from Neville, otherwise known as Salah. Another one, I should say. Let's see. Truly, when will mankind eyes truly open? If mankind, okay. Read that already. This one, Dervan, I'm not saying anything wrong, but I'm saying people need to be fair. People need to be fair in making their comments. He sees nothing wrong with whatever the JLP does. I don't work that way, not because I'm a supporter of the PNP. If they're doing something wrong, I'll be calling them out just the same. Note that Texter Westmoreland did have some of the best roads in Jamaica. He doesn't have to be asking those questions. And let's go to another of the messages. This one from Miss Dell. She says, good evening, Mr. Dervan. Please tell Cuban the year Jamaica sold JPS and when the railway was done away with for the first time. Cuban in Georgia says, Sir Malcolm, what the free barrel situation going at the wharves for members of the diaspora? And is there any update on the time of this service? Free barrel? I'll have to check on that. I would definitely have to check on that. And since the venerable Mr. Franklin MacDonald pointed to MPOX with respect to the World Health Organization making it official. So we'll just take the break and come back in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
Give yourself the best with the zest of summer from FHC Credit Union. Think smart with our partner bank. and earn extra cash from an extra hand from 24 to 48 weeks. And lock in up to 8.25% on fixed deposit or up to 5.
That's on YouTube, is it? Yes, and on Facebook. On Facebook, let's see who is watching us. Joan Richardson says, "Good day, Sir D and Dr. Dixon. Thanks for all you do to help our island home." Thank you very much. Thank you. Albert in Coconut Creek, Florida says, "Can you prod him to move slowly to his right?" He wasn't seeing him clearly. Well, sorry about that. We didn't set the microphones properly. And Albert says, "Need to see him live. Turn the camera." Good afternoon, Sir D and Dr. D. And so we continue with more in just a moment. Oh. All right, let's see if we can get in a call or two before we have to wrap. Thank you very much for your participation. We really appreciate you. Thank you. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello, Mr. Malcolm. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Blessed love to you and everybody else from our end as well. Mm-hmm.
I want a question or a question to ask now. Only the church giving the man information for that man then.
I don't know if that is the. No, usually this has happened a few times, and when it does, over the years, under both administrations, when that happens, you get a lot of outrage and plans to fix this and to fix that, etc. It's part of a sadly part of a cycle.
But I'm saying it's supposed to be the early gang, not supposed to be just getting on there. It's supposed to be early gang, supposed to want this man, but become like, oh, some want this. Sometimes he said, as the PNB, through the PNB, them down the big country, the young and guys, the man in my PNB. Then they find out that I'm really PNB. I did, I feel in Polarized. So, you know,
So
yeah, man, we want everything where themselves, we're coming back to get up. Everything where we said. So we said, do foolishness.
all right, you have a list.
Yeah, that's the right issue and the free and the all of the things where we get up. You know, yeah, man,
Well, it's a function of resources. In
you get time, then you want take some money that or then you take it and you are happy. So we see us in the right thing, man, and just like now
and as citizens, we need to pay attention. We need to ensure, because let's face it, it's really about management. That's really what it boils down to. Management. Both in our case, the two major political parties are each saying essentially, vote for me. I am a good manager, or we are good managers. So essentially, that's all that this boils down to. Yeah, you are free to do whatever you want to do as long as that freedom does not infringe on another person's freedom. No, I don't think you're listening. I'm saying to you, you're well. Go ahead. You're free to do whatever you want so long as that freedom doesn't infringe on another person's freedom. Oh Lord. You are free to do whatever you want as long as that freedom is not infringed.
So I'm not free to wrong, and that's why this thing come to this now in a bar that it can free to do it as you like. And see them go with them like I just go around and take what you have.
You are free to do whatever you want as long as that freedom does not infringe on another person's freedom. You're not hearing that part. You're not listening to that part. As long as that, you're getting the point? All right, here's what is going to happen. We're just going to have to agree to disagree and leave it there. All right? All right.
That's what he's saying, So to save life. Why do them? Why? I like one of them they say
What kind of conclusion is that? Sorry, your volume has dropped dramatically. No. Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows mention about her anymore. She's like she's forgotten and stuff. And the things where she's about to nobody no furlong that and see how this party end. You know, police investigation for them thing and stuff. But every time a little thing come up or something happen and next thing come up it change the people's mind. People can't see too long and too far. You know? So come around.
All right. Thanks for the call. Take care. Thank you. Take care. Okay. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Let's see. This one says, Sir Malcolm, what happened to the free barrels? I don't know which free barrel you're referring to, though, you know. Is it having not to pay not subject to paying for a barrel of goods, whether it has food items or others? Is that what it is? And so the question is, Sir Malcolm, what the free barrel situation going on at the wharves for members of the diaspora? And is there any update on the time of this service? Well, there's another in a series of outreach efforts of Jamaica Customs. I think it's going to be on Friday. I hear a promo going. I think that's going to be on Friday. Opportunity to have questions answered. Well, we want to thank Chandel Forbes for doing technical, and Celise Pinnock. That's right, Celise Pinnock and Chandel Forbes for doing technical and production duties behind the scenes. Thanks to our guests, thanks to our listeners and viewers all over the globe for making it both sides of the story. All things being well, both sides of the story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care and have a safe and peaceful evening.
You're listening to Poro 106 FM. The time is now 5 o'clock.
Bye.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible. Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's News at 5.